You know what? People who are obsessed with hair, I laugh at them because I would have shaved it when I was 9 if I knew how much I like it.
Yeah.
9 years old.
Somehow I don't think your mother and father would have allowed you to do that at 9.
Not at 9.
I think they would have said, you just hold off.
My mother was upset when I did it at 34.
I can understand. And welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Phillies are out. The Cubs force a Game 5, and the Phillies face another possible loss when they host the Lions on Sunday night. But we begin today with last night's Thursday night game in New York, where the 1-4 Giants basically dominated the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles, beating them 34-17. Rookie quarterback Jackson Dart accounted for 2 Giants touchdowns, and rookie running back Cam Scatterbo ran for 3 others. This was the second game in just 5 days where the Eagles scored only 17 points. Wilbon, what does this result say about each team?
How long before somebody with the Giants, whether in management or coaching, says, Scatterbo, you do that again, you're fine. Because you come down, you tear your ACL, you're fine.
Tear your ACL? I'm afraid he's going to break his neck.
Okay, I mean,
I'm afraid of that.
So the Giants have these 2 young, talented kids who bring a certain energy and spirit and maybe complete naivete. And it's working. It'll work every other week, maybe, if they're lucky, for the rest of the season. And then you figure out whether or not, they've got something sustainable in the future in terms of playoffs and contending. And so we set that aside. I'm in Wrigley Field last night just looking at the score on my phone, going, what the hell is going on in East Rutherford? But Philly's got something. The Eagles have something more. We talked about it all week. Everybody's talked about it all week. They can't figure out what to do. They have no identity. Saquon Barkley, he just shouldn't have 12 carries. Should have 20 carries. There's no load management for Saquon Barkley. He's a veteran player. You brought him over, and he wins a Super Bowl for you and gains 2,000. No, stop. What are you doing? Somebody needs to bring a coaches-only meeting to say, what the hell are you people thinking now? And Sirianni may do that because they had this happen like last season.
So 2 things stand out to me about this. One is that the Eagles, at this point now, are in what I think is serious trouble.
You mean like 2 years ago, serious trouble?
No, like right now, serious trouble.
All right.
They don't score anymore. Their rushing is not nearly as good as it was last year. Their passing is not nearly as good as it was last year. I have some numbers for you that are astonishing given who they are. They're the defending Super Bowl champions. Going into this game last night, they ranked 30th out of 32 teams in offense. They ranked 31st out of 32 teams in passing offense, and they were dead last in 3 and outs. They were going 3 and out 47.2% of the time.
Worst in the league.
Now, you may think it's irrelevant, and you may laugh at the fact that they have these internal meetings with A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I do.
And yeah, I
A.J. Brown's not paying attention.
Okay, right. And Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. Okay. But there's something wrong there. Mike, that's a 4-2 team, and their point differential is minus, and they have been outgained in all 6 games this year, and they won 4 of them. The other thing that has to be talked about is Jackson Dart, in fact. If Daboll keeps his job as Giants coach, it's going to be because of Jackson Dart. And he's probably kicking himself, or should be kicking himself, that he held on to Russell Wilson for that long. The kid has beaten the Chargers and the Eagles, who we think are playoff teams. His rating last night was 104.6. He runs and passes sort of like Jaden Daniels. I'm just saying he's got a chance. He's got a chance.
He's got a chance. I'm not going to get carried.
And by the way, in Scatterbo, you know who he reminds me of? You're old enough to get this reference. Do you remember Charlie Tolar in the AFL with the Houston Oilers?
Yes, I do.
It was called the human bowling ball because he was 5'6".
I don't understand why he lasted so long, why people, general managers who don't like running backs, who basically say, we don't need this position. Really? This kid can't help you at some point on most teams?
No.
The Phillies went out of the baseball playoffs in a way they would like to forget. The game tied, bases loaded with Dodgers. 2 outs in the 11th. Philly reliever Orion Kerkering, did I get that right? Kerkering botched that slow roller back to the mound. Instead of trying to get the out at first base to end the inning and the threat, he tried for the force at the plate and unleashed what he later called a horse bleep throw. Dodgers win and advance. Oh my God. Tone, what did you make of how it happened?
So I was glued to that game. And, in that moment when Kerkering throws it away and the Dodgers score and the Dodgers win, the next shot is poignant and cinematic The Dodgers are running around the infield. They're literally running around Querim, who is in the front of the mound, His head is down and his hands are on his knees. It is the moment of ultimate sadness for him and ultimate joy. Well, not World Series joy, but to keep winning a series. Ultimate joy for the Dodgers. And you feel for the kid at that point. Now, we've seen this 100 times already. We see Real Muto standing there pointing to first, saying, throw it to first. And the kid is, 40 feet away from home plate and throws it hard and throws it wide right and loses in that moment. And it's game over, series over. It's terrible. But I would point out to people that the only reason that the Phillies got the run that they got was on an error by a Dodgers relief pitcher. And that was Emmett Sheehan. There's a man on first, ground ball to Freeman. Freeman goes to Mookie, covering shortstop. Mookie comes back. The reliever is now covering first as he's supposed to do. Mookie has a good throw. He just misses it, goes into the dugout. The runner gets on second. Next batter up gets a hit, and you get a run. And should have been 2 out and nobody on.
I feel for this kid. I have covered a lot of events in my life where somebody made a mistake, a gaffe, and you identify immediately when you're there and you're in a locker room and you're 2 feet away from that person in misery. This is the definition of the phrase agony of defeat.
Yeah.
I was there when Ernest Biner fumbled at the goal line for, I'm sorry if everybody in Cleveland has just turned their TV off, in a huge game that the Browns are going to get to the Super Bowl, and to see the misery. But I was lifted a little bit in this case. I was lifted. I needed to feel better in that the way the Phillies players came to him and hugged him and talked to him, and his manager and his coaches, and he's trying to walk right through them to get to a place where he can be by himself. And they're like, no, you're going to take this hug. Yeah. Essentially is what they did. Yeah. And that image is going to stay with me much longer than anything the Dodgers did last.
So I think all the baseball series have been great, but you know that I do like the Phillies. I admire the Phillies. I think the Dodgers are a little bit better. Glasnow was great last night. Yeah. Sasaki was great last night. I would have walked in the bottom of the 7th. I would have walked Ohtani as well, but I was stunned that Mookie Betts on the 3-2 pitch, he didn't go for it. It was this high. It wasn't this high. It was this high. That's all it was.
What was Ohtani going into that at bat? Like 1 for 19 or something?
Lefty power, righty-lefty situation. But if Mookie Betts thinks he's going to walk against a guy who had one walk in 23 games, really? Let's stay with baseball. Move to where you were last night, Wrigley Field in Chicago, where your Cubs once again scored early. Ian Happ hit a 3-run homer in the first inning. Matthew Boyd, who I know you like, went into the 5th, gave up nothing. The Cubs shut out the Brewers 6-0, forced a decisive Game 5 tomorrow. Wilbon, what are your takeaways from the game, and who do you think has the edge tomorrow?
There's winning. There's winning and staying a lot. But, I've been to Wrigley Field 150 games in my life, and very few of them, if any, were like last night. Everybody who was there, who was either there or watching, understands if you're a Chicagoan, we got a lot of losing in Wrigley Field in the postseason. We got Bartman.
You got Bartman.
Okay. The one World Series in anybody's lifetime, we lost 2 of those 3. And so the 3rd game was just like desperation, just get through it. And to have that crowd, both managers said later, and I couldn't know this at the time, both managers said the crowd and the atmosphere affected the outcome of the game. Who says that? It was that
both
loud.
Say that.
I know. There was a joyousness about it. It wasn't as desperate as I might think because the Cubs were facing elimination. And the home run in the first inning, which took a lot of the pressure off the Ian Happ hit, that was just a bomb. It really changed things. And the question is, Tony, when they go back to Milwaukee, and this is a 90-mile trip. That's all this is. When they go back to Milwaukee, is there any momentum, or does it just not matter in the way that you and I, as we covered baseball, were told by managers, Earl Weaver, it doesn't matter?
Yeah, I would only say this, that the Milwaukee Brewers scored 3 runs in 18 innings in Chicago, which is terrible, but they scored 16 in 16 in Milwaukee in the first. I have some questions for you. Did you wear a Cubs jersey?
I had Cubs stuff.
Did you wear a Cubs jersey?
Not a
Banks jersey?
Not a jersey.
Okay. You were afraid it was going to be cold. Did you get inside? Did you go in a suite? Or did you sit up? Did you tough it out?
Blowing, it was great.
So you toughed it out the whole way?
62 degrees.
I'm proud. Well,
Yeah, I did.
You were afraid at the beginning it was going to be. Didn't anybody offer you a seat in the suite?
I don't need it. I was fine. It was like you're gonna laugh at me for saying this. It was sort of the crowd and the scene and all of it was sort of like the nights when Jordan played against the Lakers in the finals early in his career, the early finals. Patrick Kane and the Blackhawks when they actually went out and won. This is a place looking at that team and falling in love with that team. We may not have long to be in love with them because Game 5 is tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern time. And I don't know about pitching. I don't. Imanaga, who you'd like to trot out there, has not been effective.
I think it's an 8 o'clock game. 8 o'clock game.
I thought it was, 8 o'clock. Good. All right. Good enough.
Okay.
8 o'clock Eastern.
I just wanted to know how you.
We're falling in love with them, but I'd like to have Dodgers Cubs. That's what I'd like to have.
Well, you have a chance.
Fight with Irvin Johnson.
You do have a chance. Let's take a break. Coming up, the Tigers and Mariners play their deciding Game 5 tonight. Who you got?
Will the Chiefs fall to 2-4 after facing the Lions Sunday night? Toss-ups next.
You want to tell the people the last time the Cubs went on the road for an elimination game, what happened?
Happy hour.
Time for toss-up. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, finishes the show, gets on his burner accounts, and posts all sorts of praise for himself across social media.
I'm not doing that.
What's first?
Toss-up, who you got in tonight's Game 5, the Tigers or the Mariners?
This is all the Tigers could have asked for, to put all their eggs in one basket, and the basket is Tarek Skubal. Okay? He has been good to great in the playoffs so far. He's 1-0 with a 1.84 ERA, 23 strikeouts in 14 innings, and he's allowed 8 hits. He'll probably win the Cy Young Award again, and he's rested. So if Seattle beats him, good for Seattle.
Yeah.
I mean, the 2 best players left in the American League are on display in this game, Cal Raleigh and Tarek Skubal.
That's right.
Right? And if you're a viewer, what you want to see is if the guy with 60 home runs can take it out on the guy with the best ERA in the league.
But the guy with the best ERA in the league, people should be advised watching this fine program, got lit up in a similar situation by Cleveland
last year.
Mm-hmm. And I'm with you. I'm looking at this going, my first, second, and third reactions are Skubal, and Skubal. That's what I'm going with because starting pitching means something to people of our vintage.
Of a certain age.
Yeah.
Of a certain age.
So I don't want to see a damn bullpen day. I want to see a guy who can go out and go 8 innings plus if he needs to. And you think Skubal could do that or hand it to a closer, not a bullpen array. So I'm with that, Tony, but...
So you're afraid of that?
I'm afraid of it.
Let me just say something to you. Tyler Glasnow had a very bad postseason record. How did he do last night? See, like if you go back to last year, and you can't discount this year,
right.
Like what he's doing right now this year.
That's why I'm going with Skubal. I'm just saying this is and good for these 2. I'm happy that these 2 teams have this sort of showcase platform tonight. Happy to see it.
Next.
Toss-up, to which team are you leaning on Sunday night? The Lions or the Chiefs?
Okay, the game is in Kansas City. Yeah. The Chiefs are 2-3. The last time the Chiefs started 2-4, they still made the playoffs. It was 2021. So history tells us this is not a critical game, although we feel that this might be a critical game. I look at Detroit right now. I think they're playing the best football in the NFL. They have the best scoring offense. After they lost to the Packers, in the next 4 games, they rocked out 161 points. So I am leaning towards them, but this gives me a very small window, a window in which Patrick Mahomes at home is an underdog and loses. Happened earlier this year against the Eagles, so there's precedent there.
I'm going Kansas City this week. Every time this year already, we, meaning collectively across all networks, stupidly, loudly declared somebody was the best team in the league. Then they lost. Early on, it was the Packers. Then it was the Chargers. Then it was the Eagles. Now it's Detroit. Detroit's fine.
Do you think they are the best team in the league right now?
Probably.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I think probably.
That's what I think.
But they're still going to lose.
Right.
They're not going something and one.
You think there's a curse of the best team?
I just think that what we need to look at is an actual league and its trends and its patterns. We need to look at a league where no one is 72 Dolphins or 85 Bears or the 07 Patriots or whatever year that was.
At some point, a dynasty slips, teeters.
Yeah.
Could that be happening this year?
Yes, but they're going to win this game.
Okay.
They're going to win this game. They're going to knock Detroit back a little bit. And Detroit can recover next week. And I'm not saying that. And Kansas City.
You're all in on Kansas City.
This week.
Okay.
Only this week.
Well, you put it in the confidence pool? Are you high up? Come on, you're going to show some guts here? Put it in the confidence. You're not. You're not going to do that.
You know how many points I give Kansas City in this
Show
pick?
me a camera.
Two.
That's it. Great. I win. Let's take one final break. When we come back, will Wilbon's Mercury avoid a sweep in Game 4 of the WNBA Finals tonight? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
The Niners and the Bucks battle for a share of first. No, not a lot of confidence.
Confidence. That's it.
Refreshing taste of twisted tea, hard iced tea. Please drink responsibly. Part of Happy Hour.
Happy time, people. Happy 39th birthday, Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen came up with the Pittsburgh Pirates as their #1 draft choice in 2005. He spent his first 9 seasons in the majors in Pittsburgh and was